Uncle Bobby Radio is for adults only. If you are a kid, do not listen.
Soldier boy, tell them. The dance flow silly, the ladies gon' feel me, the fellas in the back, and they twisting up a belly. Get silly, hey. 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 Get silly, get silly.
Alrighty, my friends, welcome to Uncle Bobby Radio. Of course, I am your DJ, Uncle Bobby. Now we're going to try something different here. It is 11:25 p.m. my time, and I'm going to try to do more shows at the night like this because, I'm up at nighttime. My girl's up; she's just getting home, Auntie Jugs, and she does her little computer thing, and you know, I can't unless I go to sleep before she gets here. I ain't gonna be able to just fall asleep with lights on and all the TV on. So it's a good time to do a radio show. However, I also, if I do this, I need to tone my radio voice, tune it up a little bit. How's this, Auntie Jugs, for a radio voice? What's that look? That's good, right? I mean, I'm not screaming. She's obviously. I get excited, and she'll have to be like, radio voice. Just say radio voice, Uncle Bobby, and I'll be like, oh, okay, all right. So we'll try to talk, I could talk like one of them nighttime DJs. Good morning, everybody. How's it going out there in Spreaker land? What's wrong? Auntie Jugs, are you afraid that my silky smooth voice will make the ladies' panties come right off? So the title of the show is Stoner Jesus is the man, and that's because he is now officially on my radio god list, because I just listened to a show of his, Auntie Jugs, and let me tell you something.
Did he really have?
He had Kid Chris on. He actually came on. Now at first, I'm not gonna lie, at first, I'm like, that's not him, because Stoner Jesus does this whole thing with St. Peter. And St. Peter is basically just Stoner Jesus talking to himself. So I'm thinking, oh, he's got a friend or something going on. It's just a bit. I really believed him, and I really went in there, and then I heard his voice, and it didn't sound like him. But here's the thing. You know how I listen to Kid Chris, right? So I his mannerisms and everything were dead on. So it was definitely him. It's just, he's got them fancy mics and everything, and it just sounds different. You know what I mean? So it just sounds different because of that. And as he got talking, I'm like, oh yeah, that's him. You know what I mean? It's definitely him. So was he able to what? Go in the chat? Yeah. I couldn't. He wasn't paying attention to the chat at that time. He's really good with the chat interaction. Sometimes he gets stoned, so sometimes he's not. But with the interview like that, he was excited. You could tell. You know what I mean? And I mean, he's a little Stoner Jesus is a little bigger than me, but he's not. He's not a This is Kid Chris. This guy's been on Howard Stern. You know what I mean? So this guy's a big deal. He's on regular radio, and he's known through for more than just one city. Not like he's just fancy in one city. You know what I mean? So, what was the question? What did you ask me?
I asked you if you were able to type in the chat.
Oh yeah, so we were all typing in the chat, but because there was a few people in there, but we weren't able to ask him questions or anything. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that. I was kind of hoping it would be like that, but it wasn't. But it was still a real good interview, real good show, and it gives me hope because here's what he said. He said, he told Stoner Jesus he was. Kid Chris doesn't smoke pot, so he was a Kid Chris, and he's a radio guy, so he was kind of it was funny because it's when you get two DJs on, they're interviewing each other. So Stoner Jesus asking him questions, and then he's asking Stoner Jesus questions. He's like, well, what's up with the pot? What's up with your show? What do you do? He's like, what do you do for a living? It's like, you don't do this, right? He's like, well, no, cause he's like, I write in magazines and stuff. He's like, oh, that's cool. And he's like, he was telling Stoner Jesus, like, yeah, he's like, I would like to, he likes going on internet radio with people. Yeah, so I mean, if I wouldn't have, I dropped the ball, I think, because I could have had him on probably. Now Stoner Jesus is like, I don't know how they got in contact with each other, but because it didn't sound like they met face to face or anything, because he was actually asking him where he was from and everything, and he says, yeah, I'm right across the street. Stoner Jesus right across the street from him, so he kind of knew. I guess he gets to listen to him. He's in Cincinnati because Kid Chris had to move. He's moved to Cincinnati. So, you know what I mean? He used to be here in Philly, for those of you who don't know who Kid Chris is. Or Stoner Jesus. Stoner Jesus is on Spreaker.com and Gas House Radio. Which, that's a pretty cool site, actually. I'd like to get a gig on there, man, Gas House Radio. I mean, I don't think it gets paid for it, but I mean, just to be able to do my show on there would be a big step, man. They got a real nice chat room, and you could do they got a like thing. It's a thumbs up and a thumbs down. So every show, it re-ups. So when they change shows, you can like the show or dislike the show. You know what I mean? I like the chat. Chat's way better than Spreaker. I've always said Spreaker's a pretty good website. Besides their goddamn problems with the way it runs and shit. But as for the setup, and I really like it. It's easy to use and shit, but the chat sucks. Blog Talk Radio is so much better than chat. First off, and Blog Talk Radio sucks, don't get me wrong, I haven't been on there forever. But because the whole phone thing, it's outdated. I used to be all about it, but it's just outdated. Everybody uses mics and everything anyway. Everybody on Blog Talks winds up using mics, and it's just harder when it's on a site it's set for phones. So bullshit, you know what I mean? So screw that site. But the chat, I gotta admit, their chat is way better than Spreaker. You need to step it up because your chat blows. This little green fucking bubble. First off, half the people that are new to Spreaker don't even know how to click on the bubble. You know what I mean? Oh, okay, well, you go to click on that green bubble and it pops up. Second of all, if you put things in there, it would be nice to be able to put in links. And I know, some people wouldn't like that because of spammers. But here's the thing. It's good to when you want to put a link in, and so you don't have to copy it and throw it in the goddamn browser. All you have to do is copy it off of your, copy the email address and throw it right in the chat, and it turns blue, and you click on that, and it takes you right to the website. So that way, when you have a big show and you have more than one person on your show, they can click on it and go right to the news story they're reading and shit like that. Or you want to here's this, click on this, everybody go to this, follow with me. You know what I'm saying? Come on, let's step this shit up, Spreaker. You want to decorate you're always fucking decorating. Decorate your goddamn chat. Step it the fuck up. So big props to Stoner Jesus. Great interview. The dude was real cool, down to earth. It was just like a regular kind of a conversation. You know what I mean? Just real laid back. You know what I mean? He was you could tell he was tired because the dude gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning, for fuck's sake. So of course, you know what I mean? I've been slacking on the Kid Chris shows. I usually play them anyway. He's got them that you can download. They're the SoundCloud version of the show. I don't know if they cut it or if it's just I think it's just a portion of the show. You know what I mean? So I get them and I play them all the time. So we're gonna play. I got 3 of them to play. Whether we play all 3 tonight, I don't know. I might save a couple, but we're gonna play at least one. We're gonna talk a little bit. Maybe I'll get up some news in the middle of it. You know what I mean? Because I haven't even heard these yet. I like to listen to them myself, so I'm gonna be listening to it while I'm strolling around on the internet. I'll be here. Skype's up. It's late. I don't have a lot of people on my Skype now. I can't. Half the people I have on my Skype is our phones, and my Skype went out for phones. You can call me Skype to Skype at Uncle Bobby Radio. Simply, if you have Skype, you just add me to, put me into search, Uncle Bobby Radio. I'll come right up, request me, and I'll call it, and I'll, call me, and I'll accept you, and we can talk. I'll have to take you off speaker, but I got my headphones on. It probably sounds a lot better. But I'll gladly take my headphones off to have a nice conversation with somebody. But if not, we'll figure it out. We always do. So here's the Kid Chris show for 11. What is it? 11:21. 11th. Oh, well, I thought I said 12. Oh, I wanted to do them in order. What do I got up here? 11:22. Wait. 11:12. 11:13. And 11:15, I thought. 11:15. This one's 21. How's that even possible? What's the date today? So that can't be 21. Why does it say 21? Yeah, we'll play that one.
Now, back to the Kid Chris Show.
Big game, huge game yesterday. I didn't get a chance to watch it because I wasn't at the game.
It was blacked out.
Yeah, how crazy is that? They had 6,000 tickets left. I saw the highlights, though. So I just watched, actually, there was some movie that was on in place of it, and it was...
Something good?
No, yeah, it was really good. I'd never seen it before. It was a movie where these guys were in prison. I don't think it was Shawshank. It was with Robert Redford. I don't know. They took over the prison, and it was Soprano. Tony Soprano was the guy running the prison. It was really a good movie. It was awesome. Yeah. Someone will call it.
I think you just dreamed that movie.
That's right. 4 hours. Well, look it up. It was Robert.
I'll look it up in a second.
Yeah. And Tony Soprano was the guy, the warden of the.
I remember a movie.
It was
with Robert
great,
Redford.
and they took it over.
But any movie with Redford is usually pretty good.
Yeah, and Tony Soprano. This is before he was doing Sopranos, but it was like you hear him talking like, "Oh, it's Tony's going to beat someone down," but he was like kind of like a dick in this movie.
That's usually the role he plays outside of.
It was great. So that was on instead, and then when the news came on, that's when I got my highlights. And wow, do you think Peyton Manning called up Eli and said, "Dude, these guys are pussies. You don't even have to really show up." And then they were like, "Whoops." And today, Meat's got his Bengals hat on.
He's celebrating. He's cheering. I'm
back on the wagon. At least it's on next
I never
weekend.
understood the blackout. It's like, all right, since nobody bought the tickets, nobody else can see the game.
I understand it. You're not
going to drive people there, though.
You
think so?
After a game like this, yes.
Maybe now, I guess.
Yeah.
But prior to.
Honestly, it's like it's a forced lesson. It's like, dude, you better support the team, or we're just gonna black it out. You know what I mean?
We'll only play good when people can't watch us.
Right? Why not?
That'd be awesome. And people show up next week.
Well, Kid Rock for the longest time wouldn't sell his albums on iTunes because people were one guy would download it and share it with everybody. So he's like, "F you, I'm not going to be on iTunes." And he was like the last rock star to make money. Now his stuff's going on iTunes.
He doesn't care anymore.
Hey, who's this?
Hey, this is Joe calling from Lower Kentucky.
Yeah, good.
That movie you're talking about with Redford and Gandolfini, that's called Last Castle. Dude's a general in the military, and he goes to a military prison. And they take
I remember
prison.
that. Dude, I'm gonna actually get that DVD because that was
it's
a pretty
damn good movie.
It's a great movie.
Trebuchet, they do the Greek phalanx with the lunch trays and everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty sweet.
It was sweet. I enjoyed that movie.
It's funny when you see a movie because, like,
that was on regular TV. Every 5 seconds they're going to commercial break.
It's the worst, right?
Yeah.
But for those of you who don't know Chris, he usually lives in this little movie bubble. Yeah. It's like 10 movies he watches.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, and then if you go, "Hey, man, you should check this movie," no, it sucks, right? But if it's one of his movies he likes, it's an incredible movie. And most of them are great movies. Right. So when he sees something that's been out forever, you're like, dude, it's been out for like 20 years.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm still, if it's new to me, it's like living.
It's bonus for you if you think about it.
Like, I haven't seen Pulp Fiction yet. And look at me. Everybody stares at me like, wow. It's the same way as I look at someone when they say, "I've never really seen A Christmas Story." It's like, what? How could you not have seen that?
But I think everybody's seen that.
No, there's people that you can run into that never seen that movie.
I defy you to find me someone who hasn't seen A Christmas Story.
And my thing is like, well, how do you not know that movie by heart?
Well, how do you not know it's on? Because it's on for 24 hours every year.